Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Nufftingz Speaks. Today, we're diving into what's really going on with the Pokemon GO community in Mississauga. Specifically, the ambassador drama, the meetups, the inconsistencies, and just how weird it's all gotten. I'm not here to throw shade. I'm here to tell you what I've seen, what I've heard, and how I'm trying to support the community the right way. So let's talk about it. So, as you know, GoFest happened, right? Um, Big event. Every year, GoFest is a big event. Now, it wasn't as good as it should be. The Sundays are always boring. But this GoFest, our first one with an ambassador, she wasn't there. No pictures, no presents, nothing. Just me and a couple others holding it down. At first, I gave her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she was busy, which she was. She said she was going out and she wasn't going to be there. Life happens, I understand. But then I started hearing from people at Raid Hour on the Wednesday after that she had one job, show up to GoFest. And that's when I realized this ain't just me noticing. People are fed up, but they're not really saying it. They're telling me, and I don't know why. Now, she has been hosting meetups all summer. That's cool because, it's hot, people are outside. During the winter, no one's going to want to host, right? But let's be real. Most people are only showing up for the free stuff. These events, these meetups are having so much people that are just joining and just getting free stuff. It's weird. So it's not weird, but you know what I'm saying. Niantic gives her care packages. She hands them out. That's fine. But the meetups itself, no energy, no learning. No one's learning anything about the game because she has no information to give. In and out in under an hour. Like, we're talking these 3 hour events last for an hour. And it just feels like she's just going through the motions. And don't get me started on the ambassador banners. She only started using one like 2 weeks ago after months of hosting. She got the package. She had said to everybody in her chat, "Hey, I got the package." And then she didn't do any pictures until 2 weeks ago. All right. Here's where things really started bugging me. She started posting rules in Campfire. Says if anyone uses GPS drift, they'll be banned. Meanwhile, I got people telling me her own friends are doing it for her. They're using scanners, feeding her hundo locations, helping her spoof to raids, but she's the one enforcing anti-cheat rules. That's wild. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that doing the GPS drift is spoofing, but you're doing it yourself, but you're mad at other people for doing it. Yeah. Double standards. Now, this is where it's funny. So I was dying when I saw this. She posted in Campfire asking if someone could trade her a Volcanion. Now, if you played Pokemon Go for more than a week, mythical Pokemon can't be traded. Everyone in the chat just facepalmed. Nobody said anything. No one corrected her, and I thought it was hilarious. I think it was good that no one corrected her because she should know that. Don't correct her. Let her sit there with her pants down. It's hilarious. How's the ambassador not know that though? Like, come on. It showed me that she's not learning the game. No shame in not knowing something. Like, there's nothing wrong with not knowing. But if you're in that role, you got to stay up to date. At least learn. How can you play the game and do trades and not know that mythicals can't be traded? Like, if you talk to the community more than go, "Hey guys," you might actually know what's going on. Like, you might learn a thing or two. I don't know. I'm just assuming I learned. So then there's the Gimmighoul drama, right? I offered to do Gimmighoul coin bag giveaways after Raid Hour one night, and this is before the shiny. This is like way before. And it was just me trying to help people out who didn't have a Switch. She shut it down. She got so mad. Like, she shut that down. She messaged me saying no other meetups allowed in my group. And I was like, what? What are we talking about? Like, I'm not, it wasn't during one of her meetups. It was after, because everyone was going to be there for her meetup, because I wasn't hosting meetups at that time. And she was like, no, no other meetups are hosted in my group. It's against the terms of service, and it's against my rules. I'm like, okay. Started an argument between me and her. And I was like, this is stupid. So I cut the argument. Meanwhile, this is where it gets good. When Go Fest came around and people asked her if anything was happening locally, she said no. She told them to go to Brampton. So let me get this straight. I try to help Mississauga players and get shut down, but she sends them to another city instead of hosting something herself. Yo, make it make sense. Look, if you got some time on your go on your GPS, go on your Googles, and type in Mississauga Square One. Mississauga, Ontario Square One to Chincoosy and Brampton. It's not down the street, bro. Like, it's far. Like, you're telling people to leave Mississauga to go to Brampton, and then she posted those meetups in the group, even though you got mad at me for posting my own, or not posting, but telling people I'm gonna be at this time, and I'm gonna give out Gimmighoul coin bags. I'm gonna bring my Switch and I'm gonna teach you how to do it, but I get shut down for that. Whatever. All right. So, anyways, when Gimmighoul actually came up, the shiny, I actually hosted it, and because I have my own group to do it, right? So when it finally dropped, I showed up with the Switch anyways. Like, I came up with it, and apparently she brought hers, which was hilarious. I probably hooked up 15 people with it, and I actually walked them through it, teach them how to do it, and she was there with her boyfriend doing the setup for her. I don't know if it's her boyfriend, but that's what people are saying. But most players came to me, and not even because of beef. They came because I knew what I was doing. I actually give a crap. And I was showing them how to do it. Like, I was like, yo, you want to learn how to do it? Sure, man. And I would explain to them, I showed them and had them do it with me so that they could do it whenever they get a Switch. Learn something new. All right, so now this is where things get strange in her group, right? She has these rules, and her rules are you can't have multiple accounts. You can't have any extra phones, and no kids under 13. So, in other words, she had a conversation with a dude in her campfire, and she said to the dude said, I read the rules. He was new, and he was saying that he had multiple accounts, his wife's account, whatever. And she shut him down. She goes, no, because especially for like a Lapras or something, like a Gigantamax, if you have multiple phones, it's not a level playing field because other people can't join the raids. And I'm like, dude, you didn't even have 40 people there. Like, so I don't know what you're talking about. So she said that you can't have multiple accounts because, that's the terms of service thing, and you're not allowed to have that under Niantic rules. You can't have extra phones. Now, how many of us have extra phones? You get a new phone. You go on a 2-year plan with your service provider, and then after the 2 years, your phone is paid off. You get a new one. You're gonna junk the one before. You're gonna use it for Pokemon as an alt. I mean, isn't that how we do it? Then this whole no kids under 13, that whole thing is silly to me because that's more of a, they don't want little kids in a group talking to creepy people that are gonna try to holler at little kids. That's pretty much what it is. Like, what do you mean that no kids under 13? So no kids under 13 can play Pokemon Go? I don't get it. It was silly to me. I don't know. I guess that's a rule, but whatever. I just thought, look, you're a silly person because these rules, there's like no thought behind it. Like, these are rules that you were told about and you just don't have any brains. My kids play. They're 12 and 11. So what? This person has a 10-year-old kid. Let the kid play. Like, she said, oh, well, he can play as long as there's a parent there. Well, duh, but how many 12-year-olds do you see with their parents? Like, when I was 12, I wasn't around my parents all the time. Damn, like, majority of us aren't going to be around our parents at 12. You might be with your homeboys or your homegirls, diva, and you're there doing some fun shit and you're playing Pokemon Go. I mean, honestly, a 12-year-old isn't playing Pokemon Go like that, but you know what I'm saying. So she claims all that is to keep things fair, but like, come on. Most hardcore players use alternate accounts, which is what I said, right? This is just how the game works. And like, if and you're telling me that if a kid walks up with their phone, you're gonna tell them to leave. What are we doing here? Like, the real thing I don't understand is like, so if I'm walking with people and like, let's say some kids come and like, hey, you guys playing Pokemon Go? Because if you play Pokemon Go, you've had the question. You're with a group of people and people go, hey, what's going on here? Oh, Pokemon Go. Oh my God, I didn't know people still play. Is that not what usually happens? Like, I swear, anyone listening to this, you've had that happen to you. Like, it's one of the things that must happen. It's like, it happens all the time over here because there's a big group and people want to know what's going on. So, I don't know. I don't know, man. So, and then my final thoughts on this. I'm not hating. I just call things how I see them. I'm always going to be like that. That's why this is Nufftingz Speaks, not Nufftingz hides in a corner. Like, no. I've built something here. People know who I am. People don't know my face, but when they hear, oh, you're Nufftingz, we're having a conversation. People know I'm about it. I'm about that life. And I try to help where I can. I might be an asshole sometimes, but I'm really trying to help everybody and show them, what's up. Sometimes I'm having a bad day and you get on my nerves and I might be a little bit mean, but I love everybody. Except for those people that bother me, like Jim Adjuster. I don't love him. But yeah. Anyways, but concerning her, the inconsistency, the lack of leadership, and the gatekeeping from someone who barely shows up or knows the game, that's got to change. We need to, like, I wish you could kick her out of the group and just give it to me, or even anybody else that had a brain and can actually lead better. It would be so much better. Anyways, that's the end of that. Thank you for watching. If you've had similar experiences with ambassadors, good or bad, drop a comment. I love to read it. Let's have a real conversation about what this program should be doing for local communities. And as always, this has been Nufftingz Speaks. Real talk, no filters. Catch you in the next one.